Konnichiwa, meine lieben Freunde. Ich bin's, eure Shirshiko. Und wir sind hier auf dem Esmelas Tower. Wir haben hier den Reporter hingebracht mit seiner Assistentin, die hier Fotos machen wollen. Und haben jetzt hier so einen Professor getroffen. Ja. Müssen wir die beiden natürlich noch zurück oder die drei zurück in die Stadt bringen. Mal gucken, ob das einfach wird oder schwierig. Wir werden es sehen. Oh, hi there, Estelle. Was it? Is your partner feeling alright? Yeah, he said he just wants to get a bit of fresh air. I see. There's certainly a nice breeze up here, isn't there? I wanted to say, however, that I'm impressed that the both of you are bracers at such a young age. If I remember correctly, one must be at least 16 years of age to qualify to become a bracer, right? You sure know your stuff. And that's right, I'm exactly 16 years myself. How nice it is to be young. There are limitless possibilities at that age. If I were about 10 years younger, I'd solve the mysteries of all these ancient ruins across the entire continent with these very hands. The entire continent, huh? That's pretty tall order. Which means that you're not from the Burl, right? No, I was born in the north. But just for the record, I'm not from Erebonia. You don't have to worry about that. Although I hate war with a passion. That hate isn't directed at the people of the Empire. You lost someone dear to you. Yeah, my mother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up any painful memories. It's okay, it happened more than 10 years ago. And since then, there's been a new addition to the family. Oh, so you mean that boy over there? Yeah, he's like a little brother. Also, he's probably trying to act more like an older brother. I wonder why I'm telling you all of this. Usually this isn't the kind of thing a person tells others. It's perfectly fine. Aren't good relations such a wonderful thing? Oh, Estelle! This place is wonderful, isn't it? I'm even starting to wonder if the number of photo quads is going to be enough. The scenery sure is like you say. By the way, what's a photo quartz? It's an ultra-thin crystal circuit fabricated from septum. It's set up so that you can take a photograph by burning it with light. It's just what I'd expected from a camera woman, someone who knows the tools of the trade. Hehehe. That reminds me, what's the deal with Joshua? Well, he says he's getting some fresh air. A raven-haired young man standing silent in the flowing breeze? I think I could take a really good picture with that kind of a setting. Do you think he'd let me snap a shot of him if I asked? He doesn't seem to be a fan of that kind of stuff. I think he'd probably turn you down. Aw, what a waste. He's probably just shy, right? Oh man, the taste of a cigarette is wonderful. At first, I wasn't in the mood to come do a story in a rural place like Roland, but sometimes these types of places aren't so bad. If you want to be rude like that, then maybe you shouldn't have come at all. Who can do? This was a direct order from the editor-in-chief to teach that blockhead girl a thing or two. Otherwise, I'd be all over the kingdom searching for the latest scoop right now. When you say scoop, don't you just mean gossip for your next article? Not that I have anything against gossip, but reportage is predominantly greater. And in that sense, the place that has my interest, the key is both. Both region? Did something happen there? A number of large burglaries have taken place one after another. The identity of the criminals is unknown, but it seems as tough the group has got a pair of wings. Wings? Oh, I see an airship, right? What are they? Sky bandits or something?
That seems to be the most logical conclusion. But there's also the possibility that this could be an imitative deception by the Erebonian Empire.
What? That's impossible. We are supposed to have a peace treaty with them.
Sure, but the Empire incurred some heavy losses during the war 10 years ago. They can't do much now that every other nation on the continent has their eye on them, but it could be a way to get back at us. That said, nobody really knows for sure, which is why our job as reporters is to bring these things to light.
I'd better not go off by myself. Are you still feeling sick, Joshua?
No, I'm much better. I should be good to head back whenever everybody's ready.
I'm relieved to hear that. What brought this all on anyway? I doubt it was a lack of oxygen in the tower because the rest of us are all right. Maybe it was a sudden fear of heights.
I don't think so.
Estelle, Joshua! Are you finished taking pictures? You bet I am, and I got a lot of good ones too.
Then it looks like we're done here. How about we head back to town? Alright, greenhorns, lead the way. Counting on you, children. Thank you so much for escorting me back here. This is the first time I've ever been able to make it back from some ruins without being chased or bitten, or I don't know how to begin to express my appreciation. You don't need to thank us. It's our duty as braces.
I think you'd better off hiring some braces to begin with next time you go off to investigate some ruins.
My head says yes, but my wallet says no. I try and save up a bit, so... Well, have a wonderful day, and I hope we can all meet again. I think it's about time we say goodbye as well. I was a bit nervous at first, but you kids did a fine job. Let me just say thank you to the both of you.
That's what I like to call raw skill.
Now, don't get all cocky on me. The braces I know would make you two look like little fledglings, not ready to leave the nest. You're going to need to work harder.
I try to remember that.
So, are the two of you headed back to the company soon? Nah, we're going to spend the day or so relaxing here in Roland. I need to write up a rough draft for some articles and such.
I head over to the Orbital factory and get these photographs developed. Take it easy, you two. I guess this is the last of the jobs we got from Dad. They were much tougher than I thought they'd be.
I agree with you there. I feel like I have a greater awareness now about what it means to be a bracer. It's not just about fighting for justice.
There you go again, saying all the right things. But yeah, I guess I get where you got coming from.
Seems like we've got a long road ahead of us if we want to succeed in this profession. For the time being, why don't we report to the guild?
That sounds like a good idea. Oh, but before we go, how are you doing? Still not feeling well?
Thanks for asking, but I'm feeling a lot better. Also, auf zur Gilde.
Ah, nein, da geht's nicht lang.
Sind wir hier? Aua. Da geht's raus, da wollen wir auch nicht mehr. Ich glaube, ja, hier müssen wir rein, ne? Ja. Denn die Tür? Da. Rein! Man wird hier nicht reingehen. Hier rein! Ah! Oh, Estelle and Joshua.
Shira? What are you doing here?
This is a rare occasion. You're usually out and about. I just finished the jobs I took over for your father, and I was reporting to the guild.
So you finished your load too, huh?
Somehow or other, I guess. I heard from Aina that you guys aren't doing too bad yourselves. I guess everything I went through to train the two of you amount to something.
Yeah, we're grateful too. Well, I guess we'll report in as well then. Go ahead, let's hear what you've got.
Reported about escorting the ripper.
Mini mirror 2000. Gained BP 4. Rank advanced to Junior Bracer 7th class. Yoo-hoo! Eagle Eye Quartz is a perk. Good work, you two. How about you, Shiriza? Don't you think they've done a fine job? For a bunch of newbies, you did an average job. But you shouldn't be satisfied with that level of work. Especially you, Estelle. You're always the first to get on that high horse of yourself. Okay, I get it already. Great work, all of you. I'm surprised that we were able to fill the work gap left by Cassio so quickly. I wonder if we'll be able to relax for a bit now. I don't know. I can imagine that the downtime might be a bit of a drag.
Well, that won't be a problem since there are plenty of other small jobs like patrolling the roads and exterminating monsters. It's been a while since I've been able to take a break. Alright, it's time for my reward. I'm going to drink until I can't drink anymore tonight. Estelle, Yasha, you two join me as well?
We have to watch you get plastered and make a fool of yourself?
Oh, so what you're saying is that you're turning down my invitation? You've got a lot of nerve to do something like that to your mentor.
What I'm supposed to say, your drinking habits are intolerable. Caused a ruckus, danced like a maniac and tried to strip in public.
Agreed, it's pretty embarrassing.
Shiriza, just where do you think you're going to take these underage kids? Come on, the alcohol is what makes things entertaining. But if you're still against coming along with me, then I don't need you, Estelle. Really?
Yep. Instead, I just have Joshua make up for your absence. Why me? Shara.
Now hold on a minute.
Joshua, you look like you'll make a fine companion. Whether we're taking booze or something else behind closed doors, I'll help break you in.
Break me in? Alright, you big pervert. Joshua, why are you drooling like that? It's not what you think.
We've got a major problem.
Huh? Major Klaus?
Estelle, Joshua, and Sherazade. Am I glad to see you? Saved by the bell. What's wrong, sir? And why are you in such a hurry? This is terrible. My home. Disaster. It's gone.
What?
Alright, calm down, Major Klaus. Take a deep breath and let it out. Apparently, it seems as tough my home was robbed while I was out.
What?
That's not being calm at all, Estelle. I had something to speak with Father Divine about, so I was over at the chapel, and when I came home, it was rather odd for no one to greet me at the door, so I looked around. The rooms were in a state of great disarray.
Wait, what about your wife and leader?
Don't worry, they're both fine. I found them locked up in the attic room.
That's a relief to hear.
It's lucky that no harm came to anyone. It won't get us anywhere just sitting around here, so could you take us to the crime scene, Major Klaus? Absolutely. I appreciate your cooperation.
Wait for me, I'm going too.
Good idea. We may be able to be of some help.
Well, if you insist.
Aina will be at the Major's place investigating the incident. If you have anything come up, just toss it on Rich's shoulders. I'm sure he's just relaxing at the bar anyway.
Yes, I do it. Do that. And everyone be careful. Wow, this place is an absolute mess.
Brooks really tore through here.
Look at the safe.
The septium, which was supposed to be given to Her Majesty the Queen, has been stolen. I'm really sorry, especially after having you go to all the trouble to bring it here.
It's not you who should be apologizing, it's the crooks who are in the wrong. By the way, how are the other rooms in the house?
Other rooms for the most part appear to have been left untouched. They're about as messy as this attic room in which my wife and Lita were locked up in.
Estelle, Joshua, there's something I want you to do. Which is?
I speak with the Major about the incident. I want you to check out the inside of the house.
You mean like an one-side investigation?
Are you sure we're up to the task? Since we're all here, splitting up would be the best way to cover the most ground, no?
Alright, we see what we can do.
Proceed carefully and deliberately. Alright, Major Claus, how about we talk in the parlor? Sure, now, where to begin?
An one-side investigation, huh? I'm starting to get butterflies in my stomach.
How about we start from this room? Let's not forget to ask for witness statements from the other residents.
Sounds like a plan.
Doch als erstes hier mal Safe an.
The gift that we delivered to the Major for the Queen is... Those crooks are not gonna get away with this.
Doesn't look like they jammed the door either. They must decrypted the combination and opened it, or...
Could they really have cracked the combination?
Not impossible, but I imagine that it'd be difficult for anyone besides a skilled pro. My best guess that they figured out the combination using as much simpler means.
What do you mean by simpler means?
Well, let's see. They could have, for example, dusted the buttons with a special powder. Powder like that would have absorptive properties, and due to its fineness, it would be invisible to the naked eye. However, if a blue light were placed over it, it would glow.
Alright, and...
Now let's imagine for a minute that the Major entered the combination with the powder present. Powder on the bottoms would stick to his fingers and come off. This would be one way to know which buttons were pressed.
Now wait a minute. Wouldn't they still not know the order in which the buttons were pressed?
That's not exactly the case. As the powder collected on the fingers increased, the amount taken from the buttons would decrease. In other words, the crooks could press the buttons in order starting from the least luminous sense. It might be a little more difficult if there were duplicate numbers, but the crooks should be able to make a pretty good guess as to what they are.
That makes sense, Joshua. Are you a genius or something?
But just basic knowledge. Anyway, let's check out the buttons. Just as I thought, powder was used. Now there's no doubt in my mind that this safe was opened using the same method I just explained.
Alright. Now the big question is, who dusted the buttons with that powder? We know it would have to at least be someone who visited the residence.
Right. Now figuring out who that is, that's going to be the tricky part.
Look, there are some marks on this railing.
Right, and they're fresh too. Looks like something metal dug into the wood.
This This place is all torn apart. Lida would probably faint if she saw this.
It looks like all the books on the shelf have been scattered about the room. It seems kind of senseless to have done all this.
This is just a clutter box, right? It's empty as well.
The box lock looks like it was burned off. Criminals may have used an orbital gun.
Just like the Major to have a ton of difficult books like this.
Looks like he's got some valuable antique books here as well. The criminals either had no idea about the value of the books, or...
This pot's been tipped over, but there's nothing inside.
It looks like it only tipped over after being hit by something with force.
I had such a scare. I was cleaning up the attic when suddenly a bunch of masked men came bragging in. Masked men, huh? That means this wasn't a one-man job.
How many people were in the room?
I probably guess about 3 or 4. Oh, that reminds me, one of them was short. It might have been a girl. Are you alright, ma'am? Yes, I'm fine.
The intruders weren't violent towards us. Is there anything you noticed in the particular about the intruders?
They were wearing masks, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about any specific features. That reminds me, I'm certain the front door was locked. I locked the door just to be safe since my husband had gone to the chapel and there were just the 2 of us here. I wonder how in the world they got in. They said that the door was locked at the time of the burglary, right? Doesn't look like the lock's been broken either.
Which means they got in another way.
Huh? What's this? Don't you think it's a bit strange for a leaf to be in a place like this? On top of that, it's not a type that grows around here.
A sharp cell. This is a place where the residents were locked up. It was probably dropped by one of the criminals as they were locking the body up.
So it's a key piece of material evidence, right?
I had the Major run me through all the details. How about you two? Did you find anything? Alright then, let's check the details one by one and see what you've come up with. First off, what were the criminals after? How many of them were there? Where did they get into the house from? Point blank, what is a portrait of those thought to have committed the crime? Well, I guess you did a decent enough job. It looks like we'll be able to specify who the criminals are with this information. Major class. Over the past 2 or 3 days, have you had any new faces in your study? Put it that way, I guess there's been a number of people. That reporter from the magazine company was one. Oh, so these two came to visit you too, huh? But at the time of the crime, they were with us at the Esmelas Tower. I think we can cross them off the list of suspects. I see. So, Major Claus, were there any others? Other than that, there was only Josette. Haha, but let's not kid ourselves here. I think it'd be a bit of a stretch for her to be our thief. After all, she's a student at the Royal Academy. Criminals aren't always dressed, so they can be easily spotted. As for a school uniform, if someone put their mind to it, they could create a replica. But I'm telling you, she was a really nice girl. She was modest and gorgeous. Right, Joshua? Sorry to say this, but I completely disagree. Huh? During that time, when the Major put the Septimia into the safe, the girl's eyes lit up like a hunter's, eyeing her prey. Of course, since I had no conclusive evidence, I couldn't call her out on it. But at least to me, she didn't look like any ordinary student. Must be joking. Unbelievable. At any rate, it looks like we're going to have to ask this girl a few questions. You wouldn't happen to know where she is, would you? If I remember right, she should be staying at the hotel, but she said something about taking off from Roland sometime today. Well, it looks like we're going to have to hurry then. Estelle, Joshua, let's try the hotel first. Right. Understood. Ja, zum Hotel werden wir dann im nächsten Part gehen. Es nimmt hier Fahrt auf. Wir müssen also die Diebe fangen. Das Septimium zurückbringen, das für die Königin gedacht ist. Und unsere erste Spur ist die Josette, die wir hier getroffen haben, als wir dem Bürgermeister, dem Major, das Septimium gebracht haben. Ja. Ich würde dann sagen, bis zum nächsten Mal. Und lasst ein Like da. Matane.